Hello! On our first video, we created the front end of this project. You can get a copy of the front end on eClass under the name Topical 3 _ Video 1. The first thing we are going to do is the communication between the screens. Two things must happen. The screen simulador opens and the name of the course is changed. On the screen 1, let's go to the blocks area. The screen is going to change when the user clicks on the list. So let's get an action of the list view. The first one is when anything is picked on the list view 1. When it happens, I want to open a new screen. So in the group control on the bottom of the list, there is open another screen with start value. I can open a new screen, I can call a new screen, with or without passing a value. As we want to pass the name of the course, let's use the second one. Grab the block and snap inside the list view block. To open the screen, I'm going to provide two arguments. The first is the name of the screen. So I can grab a basic text block and put the name inside it. The second argument is the value I want to pass. It is the list view selection. So let's test on the emulator. I'm going to click Programming Logic. And that's it. When I open a new screen, it stays over the previous one. Most of the time, we use the back button on our smartphones to go back to the first screen. But here, the back button closes the app. If we want this button to only close the screen and show the first screen back, we have to program it. So let's code. On the screen simulador, on the simulador element, select Simulador back pressed. So when the back button is pressed on this screen, again in control, I'm going to grab close screen. Let's see how it works. But let's go to the emulator with the screen 1 selected. Otherwise, it's going to begin with the simulador screen and will not have the screen 1 opened. Now I open the simulador screen, and when I press back, it gets back to the first screen. Now let's calculate the grade I have to get. Since there are 3 labels, probably I'm not going to recall which one is the one I need. So let's get back to the design area and improve the name of the elements. The name of the course is Label 1. Let's change to Título Disciplina. Remember that these names cannot have spaces or special characters like accents and punctuations. Try to name your elements as simple as possible. In this first case, I put capital letter on Disciplina to make it more readable. The first slider I'm going to call Média. The label with the average value will get the name Label Média to differentiate from the Média slider. The midterm slider I'm going to call Parcial. And the label will be Label Parcial. The participation slider will be named Participação. Its label will be Label Participação. And the label 9 will be named Label Final. Now let's go to the blocks. The first thing I want to do is to put the name of the selected course on the screen simulador. So I'm going to set the text of the course to that initial value that I have passed when I open the screen. This value I get on Control, Get Start Value. This block, get the start value and put it on the Título Disciplina label, must happen as soon as the screen opens. So, in the simulador element, I grab when simulador initializes. So, as soon as this screen opens, this code will be run. The final grade calculation can happen in three situations. First, when the average changes. Second, when the midterm changes. And third, when the participation grade changes. To avoid having to repeat the code 3 times, let's create a procedure. If you have doubts about procedures, take a look at the video bonus of Unit 2. Let's select Procedure. I will select the second type that will return me the calculated value directly. I will call it Calcula Nota Final. Before programming, let's take a look at the math. Again, I have the calculation of the final average. First, I substitute two variables. Then, I replace them with the elements. Isolating z, I have slider média minus 0.3 slider parcial minus 0.3 slider participação. And all of this I'm going to divide by 0.4. On our code, let's begin with the multiplications. Grab the multiplication function. I will get the parcial. Notice how the new names make our life really easier. I get the parcial thumb position and make it times 0.3. Now I'm going to do the same thing to participation. Now I'm going to grab a subtraction. The first argument will be the average slider. The second is going to be the multiplication of parcial. Now I get another subtraction. And then I divide all this block by 0.4. Before putting inside the procedure, I'm going to format the decimal places. And that's it. Now I have to set the result for each slider movement. Let's begin with the average one. When it moves, two things will happen. First, the label media will be changed to the slider value. Second, is that the label final will get the result of the procedure. So, I go to Procedure and get the result. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other two. I can duplicate this block. In here, I changed it to Parcial, the slider, and the first label. The other label final is the same. And I do the same thing to Participação. Change the name of the slider and also the first label. Now, let's do the test. But don't forget to launch the test from the screen 1. On the emulator, I'm going to click one of the courses. Here, I can already see the name of the course, and, moving the sliders, I can check the final grade I have to get the average selected. We have completed this version of the app straight A. See you on the next unit.